before we even start, I want you guys to go around and say your name and where your favorite place to go is.
I'm Alexa, and I like to go to the beach.
Buff, and I like to go to the beach. Riley, I like to pretty much anywhere, but anywhere that's warm.
Yeah.
I don't like cold places.
My name's Shelby. I like to go home. I like the beach too.
I'm Ashley, and I like going to the lake.
I'm Nicole, and I also like going to the beach.
The lake is great.
I'm Bailey, and I like going to bed.
I went to the shower this morning.
But I mean,
The beach is fun too.
Okay, so I like the beach too, so I'm glad you all said that. We're gonna be talking about, before we even talk about mountains, I feel like we can talk about like how they're formed. So when people say the word plate tectonics, like what do you guys think about?
Rocks. Yes.
Moving
Yeah,
Earth.
I think the
Okay,
plate,
they're like
rocks. No, they're supposed to be like this. Plate tectonics
yeah,
is like
I think it's like that, and then it forces
Transform. I have no idea.
the layer, the top layer of the earth
and
to
divergent.
go like this.
That's okay. What are those called though?
Boundaries.
Ooh, okay,
Teamwork.
baby.
Shout out to geology.
Okay, what were the three types that y'all mentioned?
Convergent, divergent, and transform.
I would have said transvergent.
Divergent.
Okay, can we think of like some stuff that, or something that's associated with each landform, or each, I just pretty much told you, each plate boundary?
Oceans.
Convergent is landform. Mountains.
Yeah, like, yeah. What kind of landform?
Mountains.
Anybody know? Volcanoes is one, but do you know which one it's associated with?
Convergent.
No. Yeah.
Divergent.
Divergent.
Divergent. Okay.
Isn't that the name of a movie?
Yes.
Divergent?
It's so
And
good.
insurgent.
So what about, what kind of landform do you think is associated with convergent?
Is that when they come together?
Mountains.
Yeah.
Mountains, yeah.
Alright, now what about transform?
Trenches.
Think about
Water. The ocean.
Trenches.
what's one like natural disaster that's associated with?
Earthquakes.
Right. Okay, I'm not gonna write that because the same will stay. Okay, bye. Okay. Alright, so we named the three types, and we're gonna use our hands to demonstrate what happens during the three types. So put your hands out. Okay, so we're gonna do divergent first. So which way do you guys think divergent plate boundaries go?
What did we say?
They go apart.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about convergent? Which way do you think? That's right. And transform.
Oh, it's
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I have this video to show you guys. This guy used spray cheese and graham crackers to show convergent plate boundaries. Spray cheese.
I love spray cheese. My mom would never let me eat it.
Well, she's a good mom.
Can you guys hear it? No.
Okay, we've zoomed in. We have our mantle, we have our crust. Let's add some continents. What happens when the plates move together and collide when there's a continent on top? Well, watch what happens. As the plates collide, the continents collide, and I'm going to push, and what do you see happening? So what is that? What did we just make? Well, actually, this is the way moving plates make mountains. The Earth is a
Okay,
amazing
he
place.
said too
It's
much,
always
that's fine.
changing because those
Okay, so now we're going to pass out the probe. So now that you know how mountains are formed, think about that when you're doing this probe. And we're going to read it together, and then we're going to take like 5 or so minutes and fill it out. And then we're going to go around and say like what you think the answer is. Thank you.
I gotta clean up my area. Buff has graham crackers in there.
Not me.
Okay, so who wants to read like the little thing about the family at the top?
I will.
Okay, Ashley.
Take it away.
How do you say his name? The Esposito family went hiking on a tall mountain. Miss Esposito walked. Esposito.
It's
Esposito.
not even that big a
Esposito?
deal.
Esposito.
It's not
Esposito
make or breaking this.
picked up a shell fossil on top of the mountain. The fossil was once a shelled organism that lived in the ocean. The family had different ideas about how the fossil ended up there. This is what they thought. Miss Esposito. A bird picked up the organism and dropped the shell as it flew over the mountain. Mr. Esposito. Water, ice, or wind eventually carried the fossil to the top of the mountain. Rosa. A mountain formed in an area that was once covered by ocean. Sophia. The fossil flowed out of the volcano that rose up from the ocean floor.
Okay, so I'll read the question. It says, whose idea do you most agree with and why? Describe your ideas about how a fossil could end up on top of a tall mountain. So just take a couple minutes or however and answer that question.
Plates are moving. Those moving.
Okay, so Bailey, we'll start with you and tell me which person you thought it was and why.
I thought it was Rosa because when the mountain hit the mountain, something squished together and it kind of rose to the top.
Okay, Ashley?
I basically said the same thing, that when it just carried it up with it when it started to like.
This is the same
Okay.
thing.
Did you say the same
I
thing?
said Rosa, but I didn't give a because.
Okay.
I said pretty much the same thing, that it would, the shell in the ocean could have been pushed like toward the top once it formed.
Alexa?
I agree with Rosa too. Like we saw in the video, like the plates moved, which made the mountain.
Okay. So, the Earth is always changing. Like, that's not something that we'll see in our lifetime, but it's always changing. So, in this model, we have, like, different wash rags, and they represent, like, different layers. So, the orange one, we'll say is, like, the desert. And then the tan one, we'll say, is the cold. And then the blue one is the ocean, and the green one is what we have now. So, if a volunteer would come and like do it, so like Ashley,
Okay.
come here.
A volunteer.
A volunteer, Ashley.
Okay, so what plate boundary?
Got pudding on
What plate boundary forms the mountain?
Divergent.
Convergent.
Convergent. Sorry.
Okay, so can you represent that with your hands?
And they go like this.
Right. Okay. So. Okay. So if you guys, I don't know if you guys can see that, but do you see how the ocean layer has come to the top? Okay, undo it. Now do it again. Okay. So the ocean layers come to the top because the convergent boundaries have pushed the layers together, and it's made the layer buckle, which has formed a mountain. So, how do we think the ocean layer became exposed so that we could see fossils? And erosion and what's another one? Weathering, that's right. So, notes. Okay, All right, so what are some kinds of weathering and erosion? Like what?
Rain.
Okay, there's another one. Wind.
Acid rain.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's one. That's one. Yeah.
Another level.
What's another one though? Something that happens when it's cold. Ice. Ice. Yeah. Okay. So. All right. So we actually have some real life examples. Oh, you can go back.
I was like,
Okay, so there's real life examples of stuff like this where fossils have been found in places that we don't really think they'd be. So here in Greenville, there's a place called the Green Mill Run Creek, and you can find shark's teeth and stuff like that, which kind of explains.
I think I went in that. I found a shark too.
So can y'all explain to me why maybe we might find shark's teeth in Greenville?
Because it formed over an ocean.
That's right. That's right.
It's so weird.
so
It is weird.
formed over there? Like, what happened?
So, like, eventually, like, a long, long time ago, Greenville was possibly completely underwater. So it was like an ocean. And then,
Like we were in October.
so when it changes over time, you have, so like, Greenville maybe once been an ocean, and then now it's what we have now. And then a million years from now, it might be a desert, or it might be the tundra and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
I had a class last year, and it was geology, and he took us to this creek, and he actually made us get in the creek without our knees. And some man, I don't remember. And I was the only one that found a shark tooth, but I didn't understand why there were shark teeth in this creek, but now it makes sense.
There's this place that's like 30 minutes away. It's called Aurora, and there's like you just go dig for fossils.
That's
and you
another-
find
yeah.
tons of shark teeth. It's so fun.
And Aurora actually has they have a plant there that takes the fossils and stuff like that, and it breaks it down and turns it into oil and stuff that we can use, which is pretty cool. So anyways, Antarctica, another example of this is Antarctica. They found, used to be like a tropical, and have like a tropical and subtropical climate, and they like drilled into the seabed and they found 53 to 46 million year old fossil pollen and spores that had to come from subtropical or tropical plants. And also there's last example is from the Andes Mountains. I don't know if you guys know where that is. But it's kind of like a cold area, and they found turtle fossils there. So like turtles don't live there. So it kind of explains again that like there was an ocean layer, and when the Andes Mountains was formed, weathering and erosion caused those fossils to become exposed.
So weird.
Okay, so now that you guys know what you know, look back at your probe, and like double check and make sure that you're confident with your answer.
Yes. It was Rosa.
Why?
Because the mountain formed over an ocean.
Right.
Or what used to be an ocean.
Right. Do you guys have any, before we go over like the misconceptions, do you guys have any